Lance, how are you?
I mean, I'm great. I'm doing well,
Perfect. So the
We're on a time crunch in case you all haven't
Hey, no,
noticed.
I had to watch all three movies, so because I had to
well,
catch up.
oh God, here we go
Hmm.
again. Well, I can't wait for you to tell us how you felt about these movies, Lance. But until
Oh, I
then,
will.
there is one thing I wanted to discuss prior to the review, and that is I don't know if y'all remember when we were in Universal. I'm like Aid going from one subject to another. But when we were in Universal, and there was that guy who was like the handler for Homer and Krusty. And
Hmm.
he saw oh, he was looking at our tattoos, the Universal tattoos. He's like, "How do y'all feel about the new Wolfman movie?" And I was like, "What new
Oh yeah.
Wolfman movie?" And he was like, "Yeah, they're gonna come out with a new Wolfman movie." And I was like, "Well, it didn't work out last time, but plot twist: this new Wolfman movie, because I saw an article about it today. It's gonna be from Lee Winnell, which yeah, whatever. But he did Invisible Man,
Yeah.
and so I have like some hope that we might get a pretty banging Wolfman movie. Movie.
Well, Lee Winnell's hit or miss because he wrote all Insidious, right? Or at least the first one. But he also wrote Saw.
I mean, the first Insidious was good. So is
Oh
that
God.
it was better than the other ones?
Who did I talk to about that one? Because that was it was Austin. I'm like, I know I just talked to someone about that. I'm like, but yeah, no, I mean, I think it could be really good. So that's exciting. And plus, isn't Kit Harington supposed to be in it?
I don't know.
Is that the one where what's it called? It's called
The Wolfman.
no.
Wolf.
No, you're thinking of another movie that where he has like a daughter or something.
Yeah, oh, it's not that movie. I
No,
thought
not that one.
oh,
Did Lee Winnell
okay.
write that one too?
No, I don't think so.
Then what? Oh
She
my
just wants to keep.
God, you
I just thought it was a
guys!
wolf movie. I didn't realize it was the
It's
actual
like
Wolf
Kit
Man.
Harington. Is he gonna be shirts off? What?
I
You
have to
know,
apologize to Mercury because we're always just using it as an excuse for just things being off. I think it's just aid.
God. Yes, I just noticed my eyebrow is off right now too.
I was
So
looking at that
whatever.
also, but like it's like
I know.
retrograde. You can't spell without aid, so aid is in retrograde. Um,
Mm,
anyways, back to the film.
yes.
Today we're reviewing Horror in the High Desert 3 Firewatch.
Yeah, it was funny because Dan was watching part of it because he had came home when I was watching it and like he's looking at the TV and he's like, "Oh my God, when did this happen?" I go, "You idiot, this isn't real."
No,
I'm like, "What are you
literally,
doing?"
that's what happened with me and Adam because so the second one comes out in 2023. It's called Minerva, and basically the guy who goes missing in the first one, fuck him, we forget about him. We move on to Minerva, and it's the high desert, which if you don't know is basically like the weird desert version of a forest in Arizona, Nevada. I think that's it. Maybe parts of California. And it's about a girl goes missing, another girl goes missing, and is there someone else that goes missing? No. But I was watching it, and the second one really fucked me up. And at the end, when the girl's getting attacked, and she's like, "No, I'm a mother. I'm a mother." Adam was like, because he was just chilling next to me while I was watching it. He didn't ask any questions, and he was like, "Is this real?" Like you could tell he was about to be like, "Why the fuck are you watching this? Like, turn it off." And I was like,
I
"No, it's
know.
fake." Because that's something that this director knows how to do really well is have
Hmm.
little things like that are realistic that aren't over the top to be like that's fake, but like it's disturbing enough to be like it's a small detail but it really fucks you up because you think it's real. And well, we never talked about the second one, so Aid, what was your opinion on the second one?
Well, firstly, I love the runtime for it because I think that the runtime really does help with the I mean, it just felt a lot quicker. It didn't feel as much. It was a little bit more disjointed in the fact that it was like the first one relied so heavily on interviews and like you could see
Hmm.
them, but like this one, you heard interviews, and there was just something so unsettling about the whole thing, especially when it would switch perspectives to the people, right? I
Yeah.
don't know what those people are. Technically, they're not people, right? So I don't know. We don't know. And we still don't know. So, but my thing is that the second one, where the first one had more exposition and had more like, obviously the actress who plays Beverly, and I'm looking at her now, is Tanya Williams Ogden. Um, Fantastic. Like you really felt like you were watching an episode of Dateline or something, right? But with this one, with part two, you definitely get more of the found footage, creepy, just these horrifying shots. And I sat and watched it in the dark and I screamed. I mean, there was one point where I screamed and I jumped, and poor Stella was sleeping, and I scared the shit out of the dog. And I just like,
Mm.
and I'm like, why am I watching this in the dark? And then it was
Because
over.
that's how
So
you
it
should do it.
yeah, you should definitely watch them in the dark, but specifically, I think number two is probably the most effective in the dark, in my opinion. So
Oh, for sure.
it would definitely be more effective if they focused on several of the social influencers, because I think part one talks more about that at the end. So it would stand to reason that several people could probably, and it would make sense that the police and everyone are probably just over it because, we've got all these assholes running around in the woods getting in trouble. They don't know what they're doing. It's not a huge priority because we have people actually going missing, that sort of thing. But, again, like they're just, I really think that all of these different elements were sort of introduced just so we could have another one. And the thing is, we could have tied this one up really well, and this could have been the final entry. Or if, you wanted to open it up more, I just think that more scenes like with the motorcyclist, more scenes like in the cave. It was interesting when he figured out where Gary was, and it was interesting that, how she had mentioned the reason they probably can't find where Gary was the whole time was because he was in fact trespassing, right?
Yeah.
So if he's trespassing, is he trespassing on Dolly's property? Is that where, like, so what is, it just it's a little ambiguous to the point. It's like, okay, well, what's the point? Like, what are we
Yeah.
trying to do here? So
Yeah.
well, we're
Yeah.
trying to make another movie, I think so. And Oscar's alive. And I'm like, we don't need him to survive
I'd rather
because,
have Gary back.
yeah, like
You know,
maybe
it'd
we
be
find
rad if
Gary.
Gary was like if there was an image of one of the images where it was Gary's one of them now because they chopped off his hand. I mean, that would have been. I was kind of hoping for that in a smoke scene where like he's alive and maybe he saw Gary and Gary is now part of that crew of people or creatures or whatever it was, and maybe he's happier with them or whatever it would have been. But it would have been kind of cool. I mean, but now he's like back in Mexico, so like he's this weird character who survived, and you know what I mean, and
He's
like
too shaken up to talk about it, which means he's
yeah,
going to
no,
show up at the end of the next movie to talk about what's going to happen in the fifth one.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um, the
whatever.
scene that both was my favorite and also the most infuriating, maybe it's just me. I don't know. I'll see how you guys feel. He's in that schoolhouse, I think. There's chalkboards everywhere.
Hmm.
And he's looking around. And, well, okay, and also it's like, do you want to find the fuckers or not? Because he's like, I'm not leaving until I find one. There's one upstairs walking around. Go upstairs. Like, I don't, he's like, oh, there's one upstairs. Well, no, shit, go find it because you want, there's one, there's someone standing outside the front. Well, then go fucking outside because you want to see it so bad.
Yeah.
What? And he also
Pussy.
had a gun too. Like I
Oh,
was like,
yeah. Well,
if they
hello. He's
killed Gary
Mexican.
because he had a gun. I mean, like, what the hell? Like, so this guy gets a pass. It's
Well, he's
like,
Mexican.
yeah.
But,
They're like,
uh,
we're like, your life is already hard. Let's let him live.
We know that you're an immigrant, so we're just gonna
yeah,
leave you be.
he's the Mexican cartel. The next film has Chavo in it. But, so the part that I was like, what is that? Is there's a part where he's like in a big room and he's panning the little camera around. There's like an open door. And it looks like there's something at the bottom because there's two, you know how like you can see sparkles in the eyes in the dark? There's two of
Yeah.
those down there and like some weird gray thing. Looks like a head of some sort. And I was like, oh, that's creepy. What is that? And doesn't and he scrolls and then he scrolls again this way and then you see it again and I'm like, the fuck is that? Like, is
Mm.
it an accident or is that something? Is there something there? And it does that for like five times. Like, well, I guess we're not gonna fucking see what that is, uh, Carlos or whatever your name is. And I don't know if it was an accident or not. I don't know if that's gonna come up later and be like, no one saw. I was like, I saw it. I saw it, and I noticed y'all didn't pay attention to it last time. Um, but the part of that frustrated me about that was that, and also he kept going to the bathrooms and spending way too long in them. I was like, do you have to shit or what? Because everyone knows what a bathroom looks like. Stop recording the inside of this bathroom. Ugh.
Yeah, is this my favorite? Absolutely not. Like the other two are far more superior than this one. However, this one got like a super good review from Bloody Disgusting, which I was surprised. So I'll share what this person said, and I feel like it's part of that. I do agree because there were parts where I was like on edge. Um, Ari Drew of Bloody Disgusting says that now, with the long anticipated release of Horror in the High Desert 3, Firewatch, Marich continues to masterfully build out his mysterious universe in which unexplained disappearances and deaths, encounters with otherworldly phenomena, and voyeuristic accounts of terror are the norm. He goes on to say, diverting from the measured build of the first film and the relentless dread of the second, Firewatch takes a more playfully calculated approach to its scares, toying with the audience expectations with delight.
Um,
I don't know if I agree with
Wrong. I'm
all
just
of it.
kidding. So I agree with the last statement where it was kind of like, haha, fuck you, horror fans, because I was mad, but then I was like, okay, fine, I'll give that to you. The camera shots with the light, flashing light,
Oh yeah,
where they
yeah.
kept flashing and you like think something's gonna happen, but it happens when the light's not on, and it scared me.
It was very Texas Chainsaw. Like you were waiting, like it was like the slam door moment, but
Yeah.
you're kind of forcing that little moment, and also it was that and like the part from Devil's Rejects, or no, A Thousand Corpses, where like it's the long gun wait, where you're just getting this higher and higher and
Yeah.
higher
Yeah.
shot down, and you're just at one point you're like, just fucking come on. Let's go. Just give me the fucking monster. I've been waiting this whole damn movie. You haven't shown me shit.
That's
I
why I told
want to
Lance
fucking.
in California. Just give me that monster. Been waiting
Well,
this
that's like,
whole trip.
Oh my God.
like,
Oh my God.
Final
Any,
thoughts?
yeah, I was gonna say final thoughts. I don't know. I think like when the fourth one, depending on how long it takes for the fourth one to come out, because the weird thing is like this third one, like when the second one came out, he finished it, he sent it to the everybody because he puts these out himself. He doesn't go through a company. And so like he sent it to everybody and then it was out pretty quickly. So this third one, he sent it to everybody like he did last time. And like the following grew. It's not like he doesn't have a following and it was approved, but for some reason it took like a really long time. And so for a while he was like, it's gonna come out sometime. I don't know exactly when. So they didn't even really tell him like when it was gonna come out. But
Looks like a year
yeah.
to year, right? Like 23 to 24, right?
Well,
Technically, as in
from
the,
the third to the fourth, it was
Hmm.
almost a year.
you mean the second to third?
Yeah, sorry, the second to the third, it was almost a year, and the first one was 2021, so it was 2 years.
Okay. But that
But
makes more sense because of the pandemic, though, I would
oh,
assume.
does it, Lance?
It does. It kind of does.
Oh my goodness.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, by the way, Dan Gamboa, so thank you guys so much for the awesome
I saw.
What?
I replied.
Yes, I did too. Of course, I'm sure Lance did it because he's in La La Land.
What happened?
Nothing,
Doesn't
Lance.
even know
Our
what we're
newest
talking
Patreon
about.
member said thank you for.
Oh,
He
I
said,
did see
wow,
that.
that's quite.
I liked it. I did the heart. I did.
Oh,
Did like it.
okay. Oh, you did? Well, you didn't say you're welcome or,
I
thank you
know.
for listening or
You
anything
know
like
what,
that.
Lance?
Hmm.
You know what, Lance? If
Go
you want to
on.
catch our video cast, which condenses our review, you can see our lovely faces and check it out at youtube.com/slasherspodcast. We also have a bi-weekly video review of all things horror nerd at the Comic Shop, a YouTube exclusive. So subscribe. If you want to access monthly exclusives, I don't know why I had a lisp there, monthly exclusive Patreon perks and reviews, you can sign up at patreon.com/slasherspod like our wonderful fan Daniel Gamboa did last week. And we gave him the best shout out in the world. He even commented on our Facebook or Instagram that we did. Not that Lance would know, but if you're the kind who likes to wear your support, you can find our Redbubble shop at slasherspod.redbubble.com. If you'd like to follow us, feel free to do so on Instagram at slasherspod or Mutant Goons from Beyond. Mr. Dutchman, if you want to go and tell Lance that he is wrong about everything he has said about your wonderful franchise, you can find him at Zombie vs. Hate on Instagram. If you'd like to say thanks for the glowing review from me and Aid is at Pathologicallyade, and I am at horrorinahalfshell. You can also catch Doug at Doug Bizarro and Yahira at Yahoo45. If Facebook is more your style, you can catch us in the Facebook group Mutant Goons from Beyond. And as always, please support B Movie TV and catch Doug and Yahira Doug on Friday Night Action and Yahira on Saturday Night Terrors only on Roku. If you miss Jake, sometimes they play old reruns of Jake's episodes as well on Saturdays. As a reminder, we rely on the support of our listeners. We want to give a special shout out to our amazing Patreon members, Josh Gunn, Austin Proctor, Dinosaurs Will Always Be Awesome, Laureen Ellis, Kevin Leamy, Vladimir Luis, Johnny Miller, Leslie Thurman, Cam, and Dan Gamboa. So head on over to Patreon, enjoy the likes of these amazing folks. Without anything else to say, we hope you guys have a spooky week. Goodbye, and don't die.
Bye.
Die.
Where's the stop
Thank
button?
you. I
Where's the
don't
stop
know.
button?